Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And in today's video, I wanted to preach real quick. It'll be a short video about how God works and how the devil works. And I'm going to go on a different route with this video. Made videos like this before, but this video is going to be in a different route. And let's get right into it. So how God works is gently, very gentle. Okay? Think of a butterfly as an example. Gentle. This is the way that God works in your life. It's through invitation. Okay, when you invite him in, he comes and works. Okay, God will send you signs, but it's up to you to take that sign or not disregard it. Right? That's a gentle thing. Right? He leaves it up to you. God will convict you, but you can still go, you can still go forward. Okay, just like the light. The stop sign says orange. You can proceed with caution, but if he convicts you, you ought not to, in this case, right? So in terms of how God operates, it's like free will. He really respects free will, is what I'm trying to say. And why you don't see a lot of transformation in people's life is because the main component to God working in your life is yielding. The people that get transformed are the people that yield to the process. Yield, submit, obey. God's not cranking their arm. They're willingly doing it. They're putting themselves in a position where they understand something, a fundamental thing in their heart is God knows best. And they put themselves in a position where they've been humbled enough where they're like, you know what, I don't know best. I know that I think I may know best, but I really don't. When you arrive to the destination of understanding that when God gets you through things and you're able to put it on the chalkboard and he's like, he got me through this, he got me through that, your faith increases in God. And then ultimately the goal is to yield over everything to him, to love him with everything you got, and to obey him and regard him and everything you got, because he is faithful. But the journey is hard. See, God will have you to take a road that you wouldn't take, your flesh would automatically turn away from. The flesh wants shortcuts and easy. That the flesh is what we're all living in. And that's why drugs is an epidemic of drugs. It's because that's a road that you get flooded with endorphins, but you didn't work for it. Where God made endorphins for accomplishment. Like when you accomplish something, you feel really good about yourself. And then you get flooded with endorphins. That's what he created. But drugs gives it to you for free. And so the point that I'm making here is that God's road, the way that God simulated life, has to do with us understanding that there's a road that's pleasurable, but it leads to death and pain in the long run. But in his road, it's hard. And you seem like you're getting the short end of the stick, but in the long run, everything is sustained. The foundation is sure. You are strong and sturdy. You can endure pretty much anything that gets thrown at you because God is with you, and also your character is strong because of everything that you go through. You don't take shortcuts. So when God starts to work on you, he says, have faith, believe. As you're going in the journey, in the process, things are going to be unfair. And you're doing the right things. And yet still, people get promoted over you. People get things that you should get and this and that. And all of that is doing to you is allowing you to be humble, live in humility, and basically give God the authority over your life, saying, okay, God, you fight my battles. You see this unfairness. I know that you're faithful, and I know eventually you're going to make all these things right. The Bible has verses such as the last will be first and the first will be last. So wherever you see people constantly getting, like in this world, in the system of this world, some people are in high places, but you see them and they don't hold the value system that would like merit them that position. They have no integrity. They have no, and you think to yourself, how did you get that position? Like, surely I'm more qualified than you. And that the Bible verse of the first will be last and the last will be first, kind of it encompasses that type of individual where you've been overlooked, but it's basically like you deserve these spots, but you're not. He's like, but there's gonna come a point in time where you're moved to the front of the line, and these people that have been in the front of the line, they're gonna be moved to the back of the line, right? So there's something about being at the bottom for a long period of time, at the bottom, under the pressures of life, at the bottom, like something like a pit or a muck, something about that builds you up resilient, tough, strong, and if God could just implement characteristics such as integrity and principles and ethics, things that keep you on the straight and narrow road, if he can get you to follow him, and you're strong and you're sturdy, then you're a force to be reckoned with. And like in other words, you're gonna destroy the kingdom of hell, because basically God is with you. He's the one that's gonna destroy it. But when things come against you, it's like nothing new to you. It's like, yeah, like this has been my whole life. So very, very important that we have the right perspective and perception about things. God takes this road that the flesh would never take in a million years, but ultimately the bitterness turns to sweetness. And over here on the devil side of the things, everything is sweet. He wants to give you the cake. He wants to give you the candy. He wants to give you all the sweet stuff, marijuana and this and that. It's all sweet, but it turns bitter later on, right? You got voices in your head. You have mental illness. You got diabetes, just from eating all this sweet stuff. Spiritually, you just feel like you're not right, And so there's something to living this life that has to do with doing the hard things first. I believe there's a saying that says something like, a hard life, a hard today is an easy life tomorrow, and easy life today is a hard life tomorrow. There's a reason why there's homeless people. They didn't want to, not all of them, I don't want to, just put a big sheet over everybody and say they're all the same, but a good majority chose the easy life, chose the pleasurable life, chose the sweet life, and as a result, now they're living a bitter life where they don't have, and I mentioned this, not all of them, but the ones that I've spoken to, a good majority of them just didn't choose the things that later on will enrich their life. So long story short, a lot of you know my testimony. I was a drug addict and alcoholic for many years of my life. I speak from experience when I tell you that all that sweetness turned into bitterness in my life. I had many demons. I had many things come against me, such as law enforcement, many enemies on the streets, many just conflict. Just everywhere I went, it was always drama. It was always, so the bitterness was following me everywhere I went because I chose the sweetness. And all I'm trying to say in this video is this: God would have us to choose a life of submission and yieldedness to him, choosing him over the pleasures of this world, choosing God over, and then God in turn would get you and mold you and shape you, take you down a road that you don't necessarily, or the flesh is not necessarily fond of. And by that I mean God would have you start off cleaning toilets at the very bottom, and you want to be the executive, you want to be all the way on top, you want to be calling the shots. And the process is God will start you at the very bottom and start to work with you to where each and every step is meaningful, but you're climbing the steps up to the top. Look at Joseph. Joseph was given a dream that his family was going to bow down to him, that he was going to be prestigious, he was going to be very just important, powerful. And he spoke his dream, right? And people weren't fond of, his family wasn't fond of it, right? His bigger brothers, they took jealousy, and they're like, who do you think you are? We're gonna bow down to you. Yeah, right. So the journey for Joseph, and this goes for almost every disciple and every person in the Bible, the journey. Moses is, another one. Every one of them, they lived a hard life before they were ever promoted to majesty, let's say. Right? They went all the way to the top. They were very prestigious. They have epic names, epic legacies, known for great miracle signs and wonders. But their journey wasn't that they were always like on this like river just flowing and eating the best of the foods. And no, they went through, like Joseph went to prison, and he didn't even deserve to go to prison, and he was accused falsely, and all this stuff happened to him. And you think to yourself, man, you think of Job, you think of Moses, when he defended his Israelite friend, and not his friend, but a fellow Israelite. He defended him because he was getting whipped by a slave master, and he just wanted to separate it. But in the separation, he killed the slave master. I think it was with a stone or a rock. He was trying to get him to stop whipping him. But long story short, these men had something in their hearts that it thirsted for righteousness, thirsted for justice, thirsted for the things of God to come from this wicked generation, wicked world. So long story short, in one of the video, God in the Bible, it says that God would turn evil. Romans 8:28 says that he will turn everything that is against you and turn it good. Like evil will convert into good. God is good at that. So no matter what comes at you, today it could be a bankruptcy, today it could be a divorce or loss of children or that. But if you give it to God, God can turn beauty to ashes. Okay, so ashes, you're giving God your ashes, but God can turn beauty from those ashes. So long story short, he calls us to obey, to yield, and to have faith. Have faith in God and in his timing, because we often want things in a microwave type of setting. And that's another setup from the devil, Satan himself, getting us to want everything now so that our character will be thwarted with the things of God. See, the devil knows that God doesn't move on the timeline of God. Does bless, God does promote, God does increase. But he looks at your heart, he looks at your character, he sees if you're ready. And if you're not ready, he'll keep you in the process until you get ready, and that takes time. And the devil, on the other hand, is like, I'll give you what you want. Now remember, the sweetness turns into bitterness later. So the promotion, the trophy, whatever, you hear of Katy Perry, you hear of all these celebrities that they were with God at one point, but they wanted what they wanted, and then they made a little backdoor deal with the devil, and now they're suffering as a result, because the things of this world, although they shine and they're glamorous to look at or to talk about or whatever, the fact is that it can never do anything for the part of your soul or your spirit. On the internal, the things that matter are the spiritual. So God fulfills you on the inside. You can be dirt poor and still be super happy if you have God. You cannot have the things of this world but still be rejoicing on the inside, simply because God on the inside helps you to rejoice in your spirit. So that's what really counts here, and that's what the devil doesn't want you to know. He wants you to always be chasing money and cars and this and that, because he knows if he can get you distracted by these other things and get people to compete with one another, that they're always looking at what I got, you don't have, ha ha ha, he. And you're missing the bigger picture, the eternal life. You're missing, the plan of God, right? Your destiny, your calling, what you were created for. So the things, in summary to this video, the things of God, they often come with this process, and the storyline for your life. God is making a story out of you, from rags to riches, from the bottom to the top. That's the storyline, that's the ladder. But the things with the devil is he'll start you at the top. The devil will give you things you don't deserve, right? Like I'll give you this much money and this and that, but you gotta give me your soul. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, and he wants you to start at the top, but you're doing a staircase down to the bottom, right? and it may be sweet when you're all the way on the top, but with each and every step going down, you have more and more different types of side effects of mental illness and demons, and things that were once a joy to you turn into nightmares. You know, to me, drugs was a joy in the very, very beginning, but as I went on, depression started to set in, and a lot of other things started to set in that I didn't know were part of the package when I initially started. So sweet turned into bitterness real quick. So let's end the video here, and God bless you, and I hope you have a great Father's Day, as well as I will too. God bless you.